And yeah, I kind of mentioned it. I kind of mentioned it as like about me, but are you okay? Like, I guess are you gonna like dissect the whole kind of team as a whole instead of just me, or like I've
Right,
never done
right.
coaching before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like what I usually do, because most players that come to me are ranked players, I will go through their
Hmm.
POV and talk about what they should be doing. And of course there'll be stuff about like, hey, you're playing this hero against this comp on this map. This is how you should
Hmm.
approach the situation. Here's how it might change depending on what your comp is or what their comp is. But of course I can talk more about like top down, look at the team play aspect of it too, especially if like again you're not just a solo queue rank player. Maybe you play in a team, or you're wanting to play in a team, or that's something that you're considering more of. Or maybe you play with some
Yeah.
friends and you're playing a comp, right? Like that's all fine. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
I mostly play with the same team that I'm playing with that I sent you the code with. I don't really solo queue.
cool, cool.
Um, I like work full time, so I don't have time for that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I mostly play for fun. I got to masters. We kind of want to make like a grandmasters push, maybe.
Okay.
It's not like it's not like I'm pushing to go pro by any means, but it'd be fun to make one of those pushes. I'm enjoying the game, so I might as well like try. And I figured I hit you up, but I just gave you a code, and we can just kind
Cool.
of
Um,
just
I'll copy paste that. And let's see. Yeah, Lijiang.
Ready for battle.
Uh, okay, let's see. Here. So, what comp do you guys play? What comp does your team normally play or like playing?
you're looking at it. That's the
Wow.
uh
Okay.
the bread and butter.
Sure, that's
That
fine.
is it.
We'll see here. So, like, okay, I'll ask you this: like, how
Hmm.
in what tournaments do you play in? Like, is there hero bands, for example, that might switch up like how you guys approach your comps, or maybe there's certain maps where you feel like Winter's not playable, or like, how does this comp change really? Depending on bands and maps, if you are, playing with bands.
Yeah. So I know Brains usually he's a like Winston one pick or one trick. Lucina plays he plays Lucio, he plays Kiriko, he plays Ana, he plays Brig. I play Reaper because my win loss ratio is really good. Even though like he's obviously most time played, I'm most comfortable. You can call me a one trick, but I play. If I start getting into like Widow comps and stuff like that, then I'll just whip out Sombra because she's my fourth most played. And I'm really good with her. Um, Cassidy too. I can play Cassidy. I've been playing. He's the only reason I even got to Diamond way back when. Like I was like hard stuck plat. And I just started like slamming Cass. Fun Size is a hit scan player though, so I usually just
Okay.
let him play the primary like hit scan.
Yeah, makes sense. A lot on it's a very common on teams to have no flex DPS player, or people just run double hit scan all the time. Because it's not a popular role sadly. You're playing Reaper here. Like I'm actually glad that it gives your comp some kind of purpose, and we'll talk about that a little bit now. So like, what is like your
Mhm.
role or your function, or what can you do in this team comp really? What are you looking to do?
What I try to do, and it's kind of why I opened like how I teleported to the point, is I know that everyone's gonna fight on the side, so I try to play an off angle where I can still kind of, even if I don't get a kill right away, like even if I can't like pressure like this back line for one, if I jumped it, they could just jump away from me. But as long as I'm kind of taking their attention away from my back line, that is going to be one, it's going to be assaulted because we have a Winston, because Winston's going to be making moves. So I try to like not go too deep with the Winston. Sometimes I try to open up with grabbing the attention of, and I don't remember how this game specifically started, but if I can get Genji to come after me on point, I'm okay with that, even if I don't get the kill, because I'm playing in a place where I can wraith back to my team here. And I try to play like that most games, even if I'm playing on like a map like I try not to do Havana Reaper too much, but
Yeah, yeah.
like even if I'm playing like a bad Reaper map, that's just the formula I want to play. I just want to say, hey, even if like let's say they're just hard focusing me and things aren't working out, I'm just gonna play Reaper. Um, the one thing I can do is just take off angles, take flanks, not deep flanks, but ones where I have to be aware enough of saying, "Hey, if I press shift, can I make it back to my team? Is this a guaranteed like kind of like move?" And if I can do that, then I'll just keep on doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's kind of how I try to play.
So that is actually a really important point. So I talk about this sometimes. I generally call it zoning, but effectively, if their ball wants to go in, you and their Genji as well, you will effectively threaten the trade and try and zone away the Soldier and Mercy and Moira from actually being able to join the actual dive, even if that means that you won't be able to get like certain like a or certify a kill. It's really important on Reaper, Venture, Genji as well, like the ability to zone backline Symmetra as well when they actually are going for a dive, even if that doesn't mean they're getting a kill. That also links into another idea, which is about playing or playing in a way that is aggressive but safe. And this sort of changes the way you apply this idea, changes from hero to hero. But when you're playing Reaper, you're really looking for cover. Obviously, this is really important on any character. Enclosed spaces are really important on Reaper specifically. Enclosed spaces, abilities to like I guess you want to have some distance to be able to like react to things like sleep dart, but you obviously want to be close enough to be able to actually do effective damage. So I'll say like distance management or like close to medium range. And this is the important thing about aggressive but safe positioning, which is if you're TPing right here, and I think this is a good TP. So if you TP here, and let's say this Bull and this Genji and this Moira want to come and force you out, maybe from this angle here, that means, or that allows, your team to walk up and punish the enemy team. In other words, you're playing a position, so around about here, to where if the enemy team want to clear you out, they themselves are putting themselves in vulnerable or punishable positions. And that's something that's really important about aggressive but safe positioning. It's why, again, this play or this move here is actually pretty strong, because again, it's risky if they want to come and clear you out. So we'll see how this TP, or we'll see how you play here. I think it's gonna be a matter, but just by going off what you said, I think it's gonna be a matter of not what you do, but how you do it and how you execute it with the micro. So I'm expecting like maybe some dodgy wraiths, some dodgy cover usage. Maybe you get forced out by the Sojourn early on. Maybe you don't have LOS with your backline or have LOS with your Lucio. We'll see how that pans out. But so far, I like the TP. It's a good start. And of course, you don't know what they're running here, so I'll be more lenient first fight. But yeah. Okay. Forcing out bull, that's fine. Okay. So like this is exactly kind of what I mean, right? So like if the Genji wants to come and clear you out, he's putting himself in a very risky and vulnerable position to where you can force him out, because this sort of area here is really good for your character because it's an enclosed space. It fits with your character's sightlines. Your Lucio can see you. You've still got cover on point to use if you do get low. So far, this looks good to me. Like, you're forcing Genji out. Probably not going to get the kill, but that's fine. If you can force the Genji out, that's all that really needs to happen here. Expect him to leave. Yeah, dashes away, deflect away. All reasonable. Okay, Winston is... Okay, I thought your Winston jumped all the way in. That's fine. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. This, not so much. Your Lucio gets the kill here, right? Where should you move to after the Genji gets forced out?
So where is Genji at right now? He went back to his team.
Yeah, he dashed from like the window back to the Mega here.
I would say if I was gonna play on the left, I should probably play in the building, but honestly, just stick it close to point.
Right, so you can stick right here, or you can stick right here. Right, and both of these positions, here, allow. Why is this a good position to hold somewhere like here or here? Why is this a good place to be?
Because I can just do peak shots, and Reaper plays well around any cover, just kind of like applying pressure. Because that's that's like a medium range engagement at that Genji, and he can't take that space there if I'm standing there. If he does, he has to engage me, waste his deflect, whatever, and he can't really do that in Winston comp. It's going to be like he's dead.
Right, it's scary for the Genji to come and push you here. So your Winston can control this. He can zone off the Sojourn and this lot. You can effectively zone off the Genji here. And if you do want to join, maybe this Genji's like Dami, sacking main, whatever, right? If he does do that, then you can join your Winston, and then you can sort of like, again, hold this corner here. And it becomes really hard for anyone on this team to turn this corner, right? The best thing that Sojourn can do is try and swing this corner as far away from it as possible. But even if she swings like this is still really good for you. Like, she's vulnerable from boops. She's still very close to you. This isn't much distance the Sojourn can really play. So holding tight to corners here are really important. Now, obviously, the funny ball player is going on your honor, and I would argue
Yeah.
this is kind of a fault on your Lucio here. Not peel for your honor here and help your honor rotate. But that's really, again, that's not really much on you. You're not playing to clear ball, to force out ball. If you're playing Cassidy, like maybe your soldier was on Cassidy, you're playing Cass Soldier, then maybe that's a different argument there, to where you can hold maybe back on point if you're playing Cassidy, to where you can still deny the Genji if he goes window, but you're also playing to also deny the ball who's going on top of your honor, right? But again, that's if you're playing a different character here. I think where you play or where you rotate to, in other words, backing in your Winston, it's a little bit like this is exactly why, right? Like if you're here or here, like either of these positions here, you just can't peek this. So hopefully he gets forced out, and I think Lucio maybe does that. Yeah, your Lucio boops off the Sojourn, and then your Winston and your Lucio try and force out the Genji here. Your Lucio ends up dying for that. Moira somehow dies. That's weird. Alright, but look how much. Look how. Yeah, I don't know how that happens. That's a Jesus Christ. But look how much space that Genji has. Right? The Genji should never be here. It's kind of like again the preventative thing that goes on, and again it's like a mindset thing of controlling or denying the angle here by the Genji and zoning off this area and zoning off this area. If your Winston's already holding here, that's fine. I guess like you could also like have your Winston here and have you can be playing here as well. I guess that's okay, but your Winston's better at zoning compared to you because of HP pool and bubble. So your Winston can hold off the Soldier and Mercy here, and you can duel a Genji. You should be relatively okay here. But yeah, barring that, nothing else crazy. Of course, Moira goes off the map here, which is you know what it is. But yeah, nothing crazy. First fight here, you win the ball on point. Yeah, force out ball, fine. Okay. And again, like this Genji, if I go to his POV, right? Like if I look at how much space he has this entire time. Back up a little bit here. Flanks left side, get some good shurikens. All the way left side. Forces your Winston to come back. Dashes onto the Lucio. Gets out, spot free, gets his Mercy.
Yeah, he's free.
Right? Like no one's looking at him, you know? And he's actually able this entire time to go on top of your armor, right? And get some nice micro. So again, it's all about that prevention, I guess. Is how I would describe it. Generally as well, I have like I guess a framework that I use. This is also a team-based framework that I use when coaching ranged teams against mobile teams, or you're not really playing a ranged character, but you're playing a more ranged comp really against Dive, which is SPAR, which stands for Scouts, Prevent, Absorb, and then Rotate. And in that entire fight, really, like the prevention stage is again really important for what you and your team can do. Because if you can prevent that Genji from going in, there's going to be no dive that's gonna, that you're gonna have to absorb. It's just gonna be a ball that's gonna go in, and your honor can lift that. So yeah, it's really like again preventing the ball and Genji, in this case the Genji, from being able to take an angle and get on top of your honor. That's gonna be impossible to absorb, right? And you can even see your Lucio stops the Brig to be able to absorb the dive hit, like to allow your honor to get Brig packs. But yeah, that's kind of again what your team are really playing for. Rotate stage, all that really means is once the Genji and ball are rolling out, once the Genji's dashed out, once he's deflected out, then you and your Winston and your Brig as well in this sort of scenario, and your Soldier as well, can push and walk and rotate and look for better angles in the mid fight and try and push for kills. But yeah, that's kind of how I would describe this sort of framework here. The scout part is kind of, again, it's kind of in your most mobile characters in the comp here. Your Winston, it's going to be your Winston mainly scouting, and you as well, to see where the Genji's coming at. I don't know if you just didn't know or couldn't have known the Genji playing right side here. Because again, I mean, but yeah, by proxy, like, he's not right side. There's a window here. You should know.
Yeah.
By proxy, he's dashed out the window there. So again, you should know that to control that sort of angle there. I think when you see your Winston comes back here, you know that the only place the Genji can come from is down sort of right side. So yes, and I guess it's an important idea or note to keep in mind of.
Oh.
Okay, we'll see this next fight. Okay. So yeah, your honor should be less tradable here, so absorb should be easier. You're marking wall. Fine. Okay.
And now I'm playing that exact spot.
How?
I don't know what happened. I don't know. I remember this happening and just.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is kind of unlucky, but I would not even be using
That is
jump
kind of
there.
unlucky. Yeah, I get you.
But
I wonder what the fuck happened there, too.
yeah,
I was like, okay.
Okay, this fight's gonna be hard. You're gonna need to play really, really slowly here. We'll
This
see.
this entire angle I hate whenever because like you see like Sojourn's pushing from that little right
Yeah.
cubby hole leg room. It's like what is I know they're probably I think that they push in pretty hard here because well our tank is dead, but like if they're going on that side and I'm playing Reaper, just as like a hypothetical, where should I be holding? Like what is best? If they got like maybe like a cast Sojourn kind of thing going on, I know they don't have
Right,
that right now. But
right.
like, if they push that side, what do you say is my best area to hold? I know I can't hold it every time, but like, what would you
I
be
mean,
looking for? I guess.
to be honest, I think where you're holding is just fine. Like, it's
Okay.
literally like if your Winston was here, your Winston holds it. You bubble off the Sojourn. These entire characters get zoned off from their entire team, and
Mhm.
once these guys are zoned off, then either if these guys are killable, so maybe you get like a really good headshot, maybe the Sojourn overextends, maybe she fucks up a power slide, whatever the case may be. Maybe you get nano boost or whatever. Then you can chase for the kill and look to actually dive their backline and with your Winston if he was living here. Or more likely, you zone off the entire enemy backline here. These guys, the Mercy and the Moira, they fuck off and they back off here. And what do you do, or what can you do if the Mercy, Moira, and Sojourn back off from their entire team?
Then I can just take out their Sojourn if they're away from their Sojourn.
Right.
No.
Okay. What if? Okay. What I mean back off it. I mean like again, the Sojourn, Moira, and Mercy. They entirely
Yeah.
like they back off it entirely. You're still holding it here with your Winston. What else can you do?
hmm I don't know actually.
Okay. So is the Moira and Mercy useful if they're backing off from their team?
No.
No. Right. What does that imply for
Uh,
their front line?
for their front line,
For their i.e. their Genji and their ball.
I mean, I don't know. You might have to spell it out for me. I might be stupid.
Right. So if they back up here, are they going to be useful to their team?
No.
Right. So do you need to do anything? Are they threatening?
No.
Who else on the team might be threatening if these guys aren't doing anything then?
Their tank or their Genji.
Right. So essentially, this is what I like to call the turn and burn. Right, where you zone off these guys. They do fuck all, i.e. they back up, they LOS out their team. Right, if Moira's gonna fade away and Soldier's gonna pass that away, she's not threatening. You don't need to mark her, you don't need to dive her, unless you've got a trigger like I mentioned, right? Maybe she's really low HP and you can look for a TP, right? But barring that, if these guys back up here, that's fine. You can just turn around and burn the Genji or the Ball who might be overextending. Conversely,
Yeah.
the trade-off is if these guys don't back up when your Winston pops bubble and you hold this corner, then you look for the trade. Right? You burn the Sojourn and you burn the Moira, and you punish them for even daring to walk into a bubble and a Reaper LOS or a Reaper sightline. But the idea here is you put these guys between a rock and a hard place. It's either when you guys pop bubble here and you walk forward, it's either they stay in this position, in which case you punish them, or they don't stay in this position, they back up all the way because they're scared of you and the Winston, in which case you turn around and you burn the front line. Right? That's simple. Their Genji and their Ball aren't going to be getting any help if their Mercy, Moira, and Sojourn are in fucking Narnia. That's what I like to call the turn and burn kind of playstyle, and it links into what you alluded to earlier about how you can hold an off angle and you don't need to get kills directly, but if you're threatening the Sojourn and the Mercy and the Moira, then it doesn't really matter that much because you can just again get value by helping your team punish the Genji and Ball that are going to be in. You've also got map control too, and you've got point control, so you should be okay with that. Now, all that's good in theory. Of course, like your Winston's dead, so it's going to be very easy and very safe for the Sojourn to turn this corner and burn you because you've got no bubble here, or there's no Winston to draw the attention away. So you're going to get punished for this. There's not really much else you can do from an outplay or micro perspective. All you can really do here is look for a trade onto the Sojourn. Like maybe try and play really close to this corner and try and two-tap the Sojourn. That's all you really can play for. Barring that, there's nothing really. I mean, you can also play really slow here. You can just give the space, wait for your Winston to come back, and that can also work. But we'll see what happens here. That Moira just waste fade. Wow, that's a terrible fade.
I don't know. This elo is interesting.
Yeah, so as soon as that Moira pops fade, like it's just Moira punishable.
Yeah, she deserves death.
Yes, right.
Instantly.
she just faded into 3 people in an open space, right? Like, everyone on your team right now need to be shouting Moira, 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 Moira when she does this. Like, it is an insane feat. I don't know why she's doing this.
I have no clue.
Yeah, people, it's very common as well. People always lose 5v4s for no reason, right? This is why. They'll overextend, they'll be way too greedy, they think they've won the fight if they get like a free kill, or especially if they've got like a free kill into your Winston here. So again, if you see this, like, it's clear as daylight that Moira should be punished here, and it should be something that, again, you and your team are screaming. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm like, yeah, we gotta kill this bitch. Yeah.
Right. And again, if I backed it up here, and let's say again your Winston was here with you as well, like, this is kind of what I meant, right? If they're not respecting you and Reaper, and if your Winston was here, if they're not respecting you and your Winston, you punish the Moira, you punish the soldier for walking. Again, they should be doing is backing up it really.
I think because we lost our brig, I didn't commit to killing this.
Okay,
I just got, you know what I mean? Like, we just lost brig, and I was kind of, because I definitely could have killed her there, but you know.
Yeah, I think in these situations here, like, just get a trade. Die on point, because all you're doing right now is staggering out your death, and it might feel like what you're doing is safer, but in actuality, like, you would have been more effective actually trying to finish the kill into the Moira. You get a trade, you die quickly, you get a group respawn with the team, rather than Moira now becomes untradeable, and now you're in a situation to where you're gonna die last. Most likely. I'd be shocked if you don't die here.
Oh, they don't. I don't think they kill me.
That's it. You would die. In the high elo, you would die immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
kind of surprised.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of like, bad habits will get reinforced when you get away with stuff like this. Like, you'll probably do it like again because you got away with it. But then again, in actuality, in principle, it's a bad thing to do. And that can reinforce bad habits. But yeah, we'll see here. Okay, your team have gone full anti-dive.
I think I'm waiting.
Okay, we'll see here. Okay, going point is smart. Like, going point here deters their Genji and deters their ball from going in early, and it forces the enemy team to play closer to you. Just again, exactly what you want. So going to point is smart. Okay. Yeah. What's like the main issue you and your Winston? It's very basic. What's the main issue you and your Winston maker?
Basic. We just back off the point. I think we didn't push in far enough, and the Sojourn had an angle on us. I feel like.
Right. What about? Are your team on the same page?
No.
No. Right. Where's your honor?
Our Ana's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yes. Right. So
Yeah.
of course, like, you're gonna get forced out here if you guys are like 10 trillion miles away from your backline. Like, your brig can't see you. Your honor's in Narnia. So just chillax. You know, like, AFK play here, play slow. I guess you can play here as well, but again, you can get pinned. So like, if you're playing against a good Genji ball, they will just punish you, and all they'll punish your honor, who's playing very split right now. So just take a chill pill, essentially. Because either you will get forced out here, or your backline will get punished for doing this kind of thing. So yeah, just chillax, basically. And I think you get your Wraith Forced there, maybe. Yeah, Wraith Forced. Okay. What's your Winston right now? Okay, your Winston just jumped in, right? And again, this is like a massive desync, where you're out, you just Wraithed out, and now your Winston is in. So yeah, it's a massive desync. Your team right now, if your Winston's gonna be bubbling like this, your Cass and your Brig and your Honor should be walking up like this, like around this sort of area. You could be joining your Winston either by walking with your Winston or getting a good TP. Like, that's probably a better thing to do, actually. Like, you can TP from point A to point B, like around this pillar, get a good pincer, and then you can trade backlines. Or again, you can just force point. That's also something you can do as well, but your backlines can do that. So in other words, like, you can be following up on this dive or this bubble cycle by your Winston in multiple different ways, right? By, again, TPing in, by walking forward and forcing out the Moira, by, again, TPing to the pillar, right? There's many things you could be doing here. But you can't because you've got no Wraith. You're miles away. Okay. Okay. This is a good TP, right? Like, this isn't unscouted, right? They couldn't have seen you TPing if you're TPing from here to here. They just can't see you. So it's a good TP because you're unscouted. But again, the timing is my main concern. Because now your Winston's going to be out, and now you're going to go in. So you're probably going to get forced out here. What I would expect.
Right.
Okay. I mean, you play this well, admittedly. Like, the cover here is really good. fact the Sojourn doesn't even look at you here, right? But the cover here is pretty good. So again, if the Sojourn swings you here, the amount of distance she has is, even if she swings this corner wide, which is what she's doing, she's swinging this corner as far away from this sort of corner here as possible. She couldn't be further away because it's so close. You can punish with Blossom. So yeah, I guess you'll get away with this, right? But again, your Winston's doing nothing. He gets punished here. And against a better team that are ult tracking, this Moira will fade. This person will power slide out. They'll bait your Blossom here. You'll get no value out of this. But yeah,
Right.
it's again it's mismatch. It's kind of my main issue there. Okay, we'll see here. Okay, sure. All right. And again, what's the easiest solution to fix that?
Would just be communicate with my team.
Right, like, I mean,
We should
even without
have
that.
at the beginning. We should have just gotten made sure that we were all grouped up. In my opinion,
Right.
we didn't wait long enough because, and this is what I was about to say before. I kind of like know what to do, but then whenever I'm playing, I don't. Sometimes does that make any sense? So like before you started that team fight, I was like, oh, I should wait here. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I should wait for my team, and I just TP'd him in my Winston. I was like, oh well, shit. I don't think this is gonna work out too well.
Right.
But it would have went better if we were just in sync. I try to practice kind of. I say practice, but like as soon as I just see abilities popping, ults or anything, I know that as a Reaper player, you can get away with just a teleport just as soon as people start throwing abilities out. Like they're, especially with Winston, if he just goes out there, puts a bubble, I can almost teleport anywhere as long as he don't see me. Like I'm chilling.
Right.
And so if we were coordinated and I was, sticking to that plan, the moment, like you said, he put his bubble down, we should have been going in split, not on the same spot, because that doesn't really do much.
Right.
They can kind of force us out, and especially they can force us out if we don't have an Ana. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like I
hang
was just
on.
gonna say like, whenever I play, like I'm high enough elo where I know what to do in theory. Like I can coach my friends and all that shit, and I know how good, like how really well play Overwatch like looks and how it should be. Then I play sometimes, and it's just small things like I'm desynced. I tried to do too much here. I was like I felt pressured, and I fed or I ran away. You know what I mean? And like there's just small things like that. So
Yeah. So the thing you mentioned about like how you'll forget what you need to do in the actual heat of the moment, or like when you're actually playing the game, but you'll look at it over and you'll be like, oh, this is such an obvious thing to do. Why did I just not wait for my team here? Or why did I go in by myself when my Winston's clearly jumping out and I'm going in? Like that kind of thing. There's like there's a few solutions to that you yourself can do. The first one is to have like a visual or like a visual cue slash memory associated with the mistake that you made. And the easiest way of doing that is to construct like a when X circumstance or when X thing, then I will dot. So for example,
Mhm.
like literally when my team have lost a fight, I'll look back at my team. Or when I am playing Reaper against Echo, I will god damn it, like make sure I have Wraith in case Beam destroys me, whatever the case may be. Like it is really like useful for remembering bite-sized bits of micro, and it's kind of like it's like a visual recognition thing. Because next time you scrim or play Lijiang Gardens, now you're gonna know. Okay, next time when my team keeps setting and we've lost a fight, I'm gonna bloody make sure that I'm going to check back on my backline because this map is going to be a visual cue or a visual recognition for you to be able to remember that. Again, it's like the same thing whenever I tell, like I was just coaching a Genji playing into a Sombra and he was using his dash incorrectly, and it's like, okay, next time you're playing into Sombra, now you know what to do because next time you'll see a Sombra and you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember what to do now. It's kind of like, again, it's like a visual remembrance kind of thing. The second
Yeah.
thing is to ask yourself questions during downtime. Because questions, whenever you ask yourself questions, they always imply thinking. And whenever you have downtime, you're not doing anything, right? So if downtime means like in between fights, in between, that can look at they can also mean to pre-fights, free fights. And it can also mean when you're not doing anything mechanical, right? So, thankfully, every single dive hero in this game has some kind of downtime. Tracer recall, Genji deflect, Doom punching out, waiting for his cooldowns, Winston jumping out, Reaper wraithing out, right? Like, if you're wraithing out, you are doing nothing mechanical. You haven't got to worry about hitting your shots. That is a perfect time to where you can start questioning yourself and or asking questions like, where do I move to? Have I got Blossom? Can I actually look for a Blossom play here? Where's my team? Can I look to go for another dive cycle? Where's their Genji? Can I force him out? Where can I safely wait back to? Is another good question you can ask yourself. And all those questions are either imply positional stuff, like again, where can I move to? Where's safe for me to wraith back to? That's a completely fine question to ask yourself. Or they're team related, right? What's my next move for my team? Where is the next? Are my backline okay? Can I look to go in again with my Winston? Stuff like that. Or maybe they're linked in between to each other in both kind of ways. But whenever you've got downtime, again, in between fights, in the pre-fight, or when you've done diving, essentially, like you finish your dive, you're wraithing out, that's a perfect time to be thinking about the game. So that's kind of the two main things like I give to players, that autopilots, or maybe they're not thinking about the game that proactively when they're actually playing it, because it's a very common issue to just post or to just not think about the game. But yeah, but of course you can even take it to an extreme level. Like I know players that will speak to themselves when they're playing the game, so they have that like audio cue that they always remember themselves because they're talking to themselves. Or players will have post-it notes onto their monitor as a visual cue or as a visual remembrance thing, so they remember what to do next time they're in a situation. That's been again used before, so it's really like one of those two things, or both actually, are again useful things, or again ways or methods, practical ways you can again not autopilot in your games, because again this stuff you know, or should know at least at this kind of elo. But yeah, like you can tell your team that as well, right? Like maybe your Winston, right? I don't know why your Winston's going in early, right? Like that's a mistake on his part. Again, I was even saying as well, I even briefly mentioned, if this was ranked, out of your own duty, you don't actually need to hear your Winston. All you need to do is look at him, right? Look at what he's doing. Look at if he's 0 HP. Is he going in with bubble? Is he gonna get, how much aggro is he taking? Is he currently going in right now? If so, I can't go in myself, right? Because it's gonna be desynced. So those things, like, yeah, of course your Winston going in early is a bit dumb, right? But you can you can stop the dominoes effect of mistakes, right? You can make it like you can make it so that one mistake has to become two mistakes just by looking at your Winston. So yeah, again, next time you're on Gardens, you can be like, hey, when my Winston's going in, I will look at my Winston, so I make sure I don't mistime it. Like, very simple, very bite sized. Right, a very again practical thing you can apply for your next games to make you a better Reaper player. But yeah, okay, we'll see next fight because you win this fight obviously. I hope at least. But yeah, okay, all right. I'm not gonna get too much into ult tracking right now. Again, I think especially at this kind of elo, you can almost treat it like ranked and prioritize the micro of perfecting your hero, and then worry about ultimates later. Obviously, ult tracking is really important, but frankly, even most teams in like tier 3 or in phase expert, or again an elo that's like higher than this, even they won't use ultimate information correctly. So I wouldn't worry about it too much for now. There's probably bigger fish to fry. But yeah. Okay, we'll see here. Okay, so your cash just gets blown up here. Is there much you could have done here? Not. I mean, you could have marked the right side with the cast. That's the only thing you can do here. Or like maybe scout this direction. If I'm being nitpicky, like the way your team should hold this is you Winston plays here,
right
you play
at the
here,
corner, yeah.
your Brig Honor play here, and then your cast can play somewhere over here. Your cast can deny this angle, you can deny this angle, your Winston can deny this angle, and your Brig Honor can help literally anyone that gets pressured, right? And you're preventing all angles. And again, you're playing sightlines that are all good for each of your characters. So it's probably an issue with how your neutral setup is. But yeah, nothing crazy here. And again, it shows me that you guys aren't putting much effort into marking or preventing that Genji early on. Because again, like if you force Genji deflect early, he can't do shit. Like If the ball
Yep.
slams in and the Genji's got no deflect, he's not gonna go in. If the ball slams in and the Genji's off HP, he's not gonna go in. So yeah, it's really important. The whole prevent thing is really, really important. Okay. 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 And even here, right? So the ball slams in. The Sojourn OCs. Now again, the bubble hit from the Winston's not great. It's very useless. What even does it do? Like, yeah, it zones nothing, right? Which is not great. Because now when your ball slams, what are some things you can be looking to do when the ball slams it?
I would probably be let me think. I mean, just like probably find a different angle where they might push in from. Try to deny the other team from following up on the slam.
Right. Right.
And currently Genji just left. So I mean, the only place it would either be like reposition myself up where the Genji's going to come from, but my Winston's there. So I think in this situation it would be better to play that right wall corner that Winston should typically be at. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. So if you play here, what benefits does this allow you or give you?
It allows me to pressure the Sojourn that's gonna pop up and follow up because um, even though like ball's annoying, but like currently we have on a brig like a ball. I've told them a lot. I'm like it's not that we're ignoring the ball, but like whenever we have that kind of backline set up and you're not like getting like full dive, like it's like on a brig can like take care of the ball. Like they're not gonna kill him, but like he's not gonna be able to get much done
Right.
himself. It's the follow up that's the problem, and whenever the follow up isn't managed, then that's on like the Winston, that's on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, unless the ball's like right in my face, I don't really like. Even if he slams here, I'm not gonna just like pile drive him. I need to be looking for fucking denying him from getting value. And the way the ball gets value in like even like Doom, I feel like, and I could be wrong because he got more experience. You know what I mean? But like the way the ball and Doom type heroes get value is by diving and their team following up on that dive. It doesn't even have to be like all dive, and that's what Sojourn's about to try and do. So this bitch is about to slam, and then fucking Sojourn's going to pop her ult, and essentially whenever we're popped up, we're just fishing a barrel for a second. So I don't remember how this fight goes, but that's the way that I see it.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're gonna lose this fight, A, because your cast died, but also B, the Sojourn's completely unmarked, right? And now, again, your Winston should be, ideally, let's say your Winston didn't waste bubble here, and let's say your Winston was playing here. Right, if I press play, let's go spectate overlay as well. Like, around about now the OC actually occurs, the Winston's doing the square root of jack shits, you're doing the square root of jack shits, and now all your entire team's very clumped up, so it becomes very difficult to mark and manage this OC. What should have happened here is Winston holds here with bubble of the Sojourn. You can actually walk onto the Sojourn and essentially zone her out, if not land the kill, because she's actually split from her Mercy right now. If not, that's also fine. You can look to, again, keep and mark this angle here, prevent the Genji from being able to swing around super wide like this. And again, it's a very similar setup that we saw at the first point, but in this case, we're just looking at ultimates here, really. So it's a bit unfortunate that, again, the Sojourn is just completely unmarked. And yeah, and actually, funnily enough, if you force the Sojourn out, so again, if you're playing Winston here with the Reaper, and the Sojourn goes way back over here, you can actually just turn around and shoot the ball anyways, right? Like, it's still an option available to you. Because what you do here is, you do shoot the ball. It's just that you're doing it out in open space, and in the position to where you can't force out this person. You're too far away, no cover.
Yep.
So that's the main concern here. It's not aggressive but safe. In other words, you're not putting yourself in a position to be able to force out that Sojourn there.
This ends now.
So she's gonna get all the space in the world. You're gonna get really clumped up. And yeah, you guys are fishing about.
Right.
TPing's fine. Sure. Again, it's punchable. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Big kill there.
I was screaming to come back and regroup there. I remember that part. Not like screaming mad, but I was like, hey, we're down, let's group up, and then that happens.
Yeah. Like
It's gonna be one of those games.
yeah, you'll get the Genji dies, you get a free kill. You should not have overextended, sadly, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Happens. Okay, we'll see.
One side is a bit newer at the game too, but anyways, yeah.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah, ball slams in. That's the terrible slam. TP is good, fine. Point, good. So now what I expect is the ball's gonna come point, the Genji's gonna come back here eventually. As long as you can force them out and keep your Wraith form and play cover behind you, you should be all good. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, you just don't anticipate the Genji coming back there, sadly. That's the only concern, because obviously if the Genji comes back through window, you've got no cover to use. So I would have just we can walk here and force point a little bit, but I would back up over here and then try and play the cover here. You've got more distance away to cut the ball. Your backline can actually see you if you're playing over here compared to you are right now. And again, you've got actual cover against the Genji, whereas again here you just don't. So a little bit of forgetfulness against Genji.
Yep.
But in terms of
Right
what you're
spot,
actually
just
doing,
wrong cover.
Yeah. Because the Genji gets you to like 200 HP ish, and then you get Wraith Forced.
I don't know.
Yeah, now you
was
Wraith
bad.
back into a Sojourn on 1 HP, which is not.
Because I didn't look at my team.
Yeah, and this is a good point as well, right? You had no look at your team. You didn't look at your Brig once. You didn't look at your Honor once. I have no idea where they're pushing here. Let's see what actually happens here. Where they move to. Yeah, oh Jesus Christ, right? Like your Cassidy's in spawn, you know? Like this zoning is actually, well, the way you're drawing attention here is actually pretty good. Right? If I look at your Winston, right, he jumps the Sojourn Mercy Moira, right? He gets the Sojourn to look at him. He gets the Mercy Beam as well. The Moira's probably gonna look at the Winston too. You get the Bull and the Genji to look at you as well. Like this is great zoning here. Essentially, like it allows your entire team to walk up, right? But your team can't utilize that because it's in fucking spawn, right? Now is when your team should be walking up here. That is when you should be again backing around this corner, getting brick packs to make sure you're not getting forced out here. And yeah, your team should have at least walked the bridge here because of that. Because of the forced point play. But yeah, unfortunately, again, it's a bit too early for the cast, and the cover isn't great because we get the Genji. So I guess the bite-sized or the manageable point here is when on retakes, when you force points, look at your team, and also when you force points, make sure you can't get forced out, and you can do that by using cover, right? So yeah, when you're looking for retakes and when you want to force point, make sure the timing is good and make sure you're using cover well. That's simple. But yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't even expect people to force point here at this kind of elo. I would expect most people to just foul. I would have expected you to like go dojo, to be honest. Which would have been okay, but again, you can force point here and force again their fronter to come and chase you. And I expect you not to die for this.
I don't know.
We'll see. Okay, yeah, you died, right? Yeah. Okay, we'll see here. Yeah, not like you can see like your Winston's like zoning the Sojourn the entire. He's basically juggling the Sojourn, and now your cast is actually able to walk. Your Brig's able to walk here. Where's your Honor actually? Did she die?
I think she's just right. Wait, what?
Where's
I
your
actually don't know
Honor?
what happened.
Oh yeah, your Honor died somehow, like in mid fight somewhere.
Wait, what?
I did not catch that. Yeah, your Honor's respawning, right? Again, this is even worse. Your cast, let alone your cast, your Honor's actually dead. So again, maybe the timing's a little bit off here. I think Honor just got domed. So yeah, I mean that's,
Railgun, yeah.
That's unfortunate. Maybe the bubble could have been better from your Winston, to be honest, to allow your Sojourn to probably micro on your Winston there. Take away from that. Let me see your Winston micro here actually. Something that's important to do as well on your own, or your team can do this as well. If when learning micro, look at important game-changing fights. Like this is a game-changing fight because their Sojourn gets a pick. And then look at like your own POV. If you watch, again, look at your own POV multiple times. Look at it slow down. Look at different POVs. Look at how cooldowns are being used, and then you can do this exact same process with like higher level players, or in pro play. But yeah, that's how you like learn micro on your own. But yeah, problem there is just not covering. It shows me that your Winston's not in the correct mindset. Like, he's not thinking about zoning away. He's not thinking about allowing his backline to walk, because if he was, he'd be bubbling the bridge, which would block off the shots entirely. He's like bubbling for himself, really.
You himself, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Not that I gave him any favors here, but yeah, that was probably my worst. All good.
Okay, so next right now. Okay. Coming up on Blossom almost. Who's dead? a bit of a messy dogfight here. Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. I'm not gonna cry about this. This is like a priority. It's a messy dogfight. Okay. Cool. And the Mana Blossom. It's really good mid to late fight. But yeah.
Yeah, I watched what did I watch? It was literally your video, and it just said just do Blossom mid to late fight, and now I was like, all right, well I'm just gonna do that now.
yeah, it's a really like again easy like general principle or lineup to think about. I guess the only exception is like if you're playing Malga comps and you can like cage a Blossom as well, that's fine. But obviously not playing Malga here. Okay, we'll see here. Better. Okay, this is so much better, right?
No.
Like this.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
look at how much of a difference this makes by preventing the Genji, right? Of course your casters and your winners are doing it from two different angles, and this is actually good you're doing it of it yourself, right? But compare this to first fight, where initially the Genji was just like roaming around doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do, whereas now he's cleanly left, right? Because you and your team forced him out. So good start here. Good start. So yeah, see if you guys can keep this up. Okay, this is fine. So the reason why this is fine, okay, when would this be risky and when would this be fine? What you're holding?
It's risky because well I have no team really around me, but they have no like it's just a Sojourn. Even if she has like damage boost, it's not like I thought it was okay to hold close because I only saw Sojourn and well Mercy too. I know she's got a damage buff, but that's why I kind of played a little bit more aggro here. I'd like to think.
Right, so what you're doing here macro-wise is completely fine. You've got good distance, good enclosed spaces, good cover, etc, etc, etc. And you just force out the Genji, so he's not worried. You're not worried about getting pincered here and getting forced out yourself. That's all fine. I'm just worried that your Brig and your Honor is not going to be able to see you in time. Because damage, even though you are Reaper, damage boosted Soulage can be quite scary. And you also don't know if she's carrying a railgun. So I would just double check and make sure that again, my backline are able to see me here. If you are taking a duel in this kind of case and you feel like you might need help, then again you can say to your backline, hey guys, look at me, I'm dueling Sojourn, might need some help. Or Genji forced out, look right side. Something like that.
Yeah. I think on this fight I was good. I said, hey, I did look back.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you literally look back right there, right? Yeah.
And I was calming it too.
Which is good. Their Sojourn get forced out too. When he balls in, but he's doing fuck all. Okay. Okay, that ball's doing nothing. Well, like, you can see how difficult it is for their Genji initially, their Sojourn, because she slid out, and their Bull too, to actually set up a dive. It's all desynced. It's really hard to stage because you guys are proactively pushing up and looking to force them up from different angles. And also, you guys are playing zones or you're playing areas that are good for your characters. Cassidy is good in this kind of distance. Cassidy is good over here, right? Reaper is good over here, here, and here because he can play really close sight lines. So this is exactly what should have been happening from the get-go, and it makes a night and day difference between this fight and the past fights that we've seen. So yeah, I'm expecting you guys to win this fight based off of what I'm seeing here. Unless some like crazy off fight goes down. But yeah. Okay, so you get Wraith forced here. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's reasonable. You got your half HP. So the blue like emanating glow, I think, from a damage boost, and your half HP there.
Yeah.
You could have got domed. I think that's reasonable. That's fine. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So where should you Wraith back to?
Maybe just around that wall that I'm looking at right now, not so deep.
Right. Yeah, not so deep, right? So maybe back over here, right? Again, depends how pushed up your Brig is and how pushed up your cast is. I'll probably say back over here is safer, right? Because you just got a little bit more distance to play. You still got cover to use. You can still zone and punish anyone that comes down this sort of choke or this doorway here. That's all fine. And it gives you an opportunity to, again, flank around, play and control this right side, right? Because now if I zoom out and I go top down, we can see that maybe that there's an opportunity where now maybe your cast gets forced out. Or maybe now the Sojourn gets a good angle going through White Room. And there's not a Reaper holding here, or holding here, or holding here that can force out the Sojourn. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, because you can see like your Winston's the one that's actually forcing up the Genji here. Like he's doing a fine job. Right, but it's this Sojourn and this board that I'm scared of. That again could be getting forced out here. Like again, imagine you're playing here. You just force out that ball. Soldier's now walking. Like sure, you can let her walk a little bit longer, and then start threatening her a little bit. Maybe place like juggle beat the cover here, right? Maybe wait for your Winston to be able to bubble, and it's a terrible. What was this bubble? Maybe wait for your Winston to bubble off the Soldier, and then maybe you can join him, right? That kind of thing. But obviously your Winston should be the one bubbling off the Soldier here, not you, because again you get forced out really easily. But yeah. Because right now, like you're kind of like walking around like a headless chicken in it, right? Like you're like shoot Genji a little bit. Right for now, OC goes off around about. It's going off right now. 506, 507, 508, 509. Now you're doing stuff, right? Now the Soldier's scared, right? Because if this sight line is really good for you, and she can't like she's gonna. I guarantee you she will start away, right? But again, this could have been done beforehand, or this could have been something where you could have already been here beforehand. So yeah, there we go. It's predictable as daylight. That's of course it's gonna happen. Okay, and the really important thing that you need to understand or learn here is after the Social power slides out, can you still walk on the Social here?
Yes.
Yes, right?
She does not have railgun.
Yeah, no railgun, OZ's finished, and she's still close to you, and she's got no power slide, right? You can actually just, you don't even need to necessarily walk onto her. You can juggle peek her, kind of, right? You can just like do this. If she gets low, walk close distance, and then force her out, boom, dead, right? That's the really key thing. It's, are they still punishable once I force them to power slide? It's very similar to what I said over here, right? Where, again, what should be happening is this Sojourn power slides all the way back out like this, right? And leaves the entire team. And then I would expect you, then it's completely fine to expect of you to ignore the Sojourn and then turn around and burn the ball, burn the Moira, right? Burn the actual dive heroes in the actual dive itself. But if this person is still scary, if this person is still punishable, then by all means do so. And again, in this kind of elo, again, we saw it again earlier, right, where the Moira kind of faded in front of your entire team. This is kind of a similar, it's a less egregious example, right? But again, similar to how the Moira was still punishable when diving in, this person is still punishable when sliding or trying to slide out. So yeah, keep that in the back of your head there.
Well, I think I got lucky here, and I think that the Moira did the exact same thing.
Yeah, she just
I'm pretty sure she just faded it.
Yeah. That's all fine. And then get a Genji dash as well is something that again you need to be paying attention to, right? I'm not saying that I have is force out front line before going for back line. Obviously Moira is like kind of blending the lines between that because she's technically part of her front line in this dive. But yeah, when you see dash being used there, like Genji's got no escape. He can't escape you. Like he needs to be forced out immediately because of that. So that would have been something that I immediately, you see the dash, you hear the what's it called? Again, you hear the dash and you see it, the green sort of animation. Deflect is not an issue for you, right? Just don't shoot him. So yeah. Okay. And yeah, very unfortunately there, had you focus on the Genji, maybe there's a reality where he doesn't get blade off, right? And then you get the kill. Honestly, that fight there, barring a little bit of like mindset stuff with, again, making sure you're still in the Sojourn, making sure you're actually following up and forcing up the Genji after he uses dash there. Nothing crazy. Decent fight there. Especially in the free fight. I think if you guys got your ultimates up late into the fight there, that could have been really won. Okay, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's gonna be fortune lost there. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Okay. Going red rooms is fine, by the way. This is all reasonable. Angle's good. Again, you force power slide, and again, this is the key thing, right? This Sojourn, is this Sojourn now punishable? Can you walk on Sojourn here?
Yeah, she doesn't have rail. She just used power slide.
Right, so if again, it'll depend on your Winston, right? If he bubbles here, because this is kind of open space. But yeah, right. Like if he bubbles here, you're allowed to walk. You can W key and look at the Genji, look at the Soj, look at the Mercy, especially, right? She's really out in the open right now. And then again, if these guys were playing more defensively, or again if they're playing closer to the Moira, like maybe the Sojin power slides out more like this and plays further away. Maybe the Sojin power slides, God knows, like way over here, right? Of course you can't punish that, right? then you can look to turn and around and like again actually punish the bullshit, or punish whoever is remaining on the front line, right? But we'll see what move you make. Okay, you join your Winston, fine. TP's good with bubble. Nice, really good. The timing is great there. TP was great. I like how again the bubble there essentially acts as a visual cue for your TP essentially. So I like that. Okay, punish Genji. All good. Yeah, it's probably your best fight, to be honest. Like, really good micro. Timing was great. I like how you TP to a place of cover. The micro was great as well. Yeah, really good. Okay. Fight should be one there. Okay, nice. Soj, good. Get the ball right, and again, great, right? Sojin isn't punishable because Sojin is playing too far away. So you just go on the most accessible target, i.e. the ball. So again, nice decision making there. Okay. Good flank. Okay. Yeah, so this one is a little bit not mistimed. I'm just wondering what's missing from this engagement.
Maybe my Winston?
Yeah, right. Like Sojin is Sojin being aggressive right now?
Yeah.
Yes, right. She's peeking with a pocket and she's shooting down your team, right? So you need a bubble here or something. Like your Winston needs to be able to like actually jump on the Sojin here, and then again you can chase by walking around from this angle. Great angle here as well. All good. But my main issue here is if this Sojin had a brain, what should she be doing? What should she be doing here?
She should be shooting me, which
Yes.
the only reason I kept walking is because she didn't look.
Yeah. I don't. Maybe she's so tunneled and getting kills, right? Or she's fishing for a one shot, whatever the case may be. Of course, if I was coaching the Sojin, I would not be sort of mentioning. I would be mentioning to burn you down right now because you are extremely forcible right now. Like you're in open space, you are definitely easy to force out here. So I don't know what she's cooking. But yeah, in terms of what you can do, yeah, absolutely. I think in terms of what you can do, there's two things, right? Wait for your Winston, or go on the Soch, right? Force us to actually leave because she's the most dangerous person here, and you're kind of blind swinging in this corner. So yeah, I would go for Soch here or wait for your Winston. Probably wait for your Winston to leave a play here. And it's not the first time as well. It's not the first time that we've seen a dodgy timing encounter. And actually, I want to see what your Winston does because he should really be marking or zoning that Soch. Okay, yeah, he does it. It's just mistimed, sadly. I'd probably think if I'm that Winston, I probably want to hold. I mean, here is like risky because the Sojin can bait your bubble really easily, but probably here is the best bet to play as Winston. Because again, if you play here, the Sojin can swing in the corner, force jump pack or force bubble, and then slide back out, and she's actually really safe. So yeah, I'd probably say playing here is kind of the key thing. Or again, your team. Because Sojin domes someone here. Oh yeah, your Cass is in an awful position here as well. This is not even necessarily on your Winston. I think your Winston can de-peek this. Your Cass is just in an awful position. Yeah, your Cass should be playing here or here, really. And your Brig as well. I don't know why your Brig is playing so far up as well. Like your team looks like again they're off the same page, right? Your Cass and your Brig look like they want to play really aggressive and look for a really early swing. And you as well, mind you. Whereas your Winston is like, you know what? I want to de-peek this. I don't actually want to peek this Sojin here. I want to place low, let them come into me. So again, your team looks like they're at a desync here. Again, either play is fine, especially in this kind of elo. But yeah, I don't know. Again, your team look way off. But yeah, been unfortunate there. And again, that could be easily fixed by your Winston calling what he wants to do. You calling what you want to do or what you're looking for. Cass as well. That applies to all of you. It's like a shared responsibility. But yeah, been unfortunate there. Okay. I mean, obviously the shots there were far onto the Zenler, but because we went in first, the Sojin was actually beaming you. Right? If I go to Sojin POV, like she was actually shooting you, even when Winston was beaming her. And now Winston's like beaming her or beaming the Sojin, she's still shooting you right now. Because you went in first. So yeah. Okay. And yeah, the Genji just slices your brick as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like your entire team, I basically need to be playing slower, play more distance, and rely on you and your Winston to be able to zone the Zen, Sojin, and Mercy essentially. And then it should be like, again, your cast Brigano should be able to live a ball, and again, it should be okay. But yeah. Okay, I don't mind the bottom there. You got one. I think that's, again, you're got good cover. They're playing really close to you. Ball's off HP. I think the bottom's fine here. I'm okay with it. Okay, so Mercy, good. Make is fine. Okay. Okay. What perk do you pick here as well? Major perk. Is that the Wraith one? Looks like the Wraith one to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine as well, yeah.
It's great.
Makes sense. Okay. Okay. Take that fine. Okay. Cool. Sure. Yeah, so like this soldier's being extremely dumb right now. You can definitely play bubble here and punish her. Okay, nice, nice. Give your wins pummeling in. Okay. Pummeling in.
Yeah, he's got Primal, yeah.
Right, so what are your options here?
I think here it would be best to assist my to actually commit with my Primal, with my Winston, because they're inside of a building, so it's not like they're all going to get flung around and I can't get any value. Like, they're not going to get pushed out of the building. I can actually, help them get the kill confirmed.
Right. I think it's actually fine if you shoot ball here, because you don't need to get kills with this Primal. If your Winston can draw 3 or 4 people away, that means this ball isn't going to get any help. And that means you and the rest of your team can press W on your keyboards and burn the shit out of this ball. So you can join us dive, that's fine. Either one's fine here, but again, it relates back to the whole zoning idea where a primaling Winston's going to draw away a ton of attention, which allows you to play aggressive here. And in this case, ball is right in front of your face, no armor, very killable. Right, there we go. Oh, your Winston just get
he got burned.
Yeah, probably because of Discord. It's probably Michael who can work on himself. It's really important in Primal that you cleanse Discord. Otherwise your HP is destroyed. And that's, unfortunate.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. It's not unlucky. I'm not going to mention the concept here because I'm not going to put too much on your palette. But essentially, it's the whole idea about visual aggro, where if you look at, again, you're taking a blue beamed soldier and you're half HP and the ball's shooting you. Like, you're taking too much visual aggro for you to take. So yeah, I would rate now. Like before, like when you were 170, you should have rate then. Okay.
I agree. I have that problem a lot. I know that.
Okay, we'll see here. Okay. Ta-da. We'll watch one more fight and then a quick summary at the end. I think we know the piece of the bug. Okay, put those in. Okay. Sure. 4. Fine. Okay, so do you know this entire time what Winston was doing?
No.
Okay, well let's see what he was doing then. Because this walk up looks fine to me. Your Brig's walking up with you as well. Your Winston seems to be zoning someone at least, or drawing attention away. Maybe he's okay, whatever. Jumps back, so he's out. I mean, this is fine because you're not fully in. You're not like engaging here. Like, you're not gonna get forced out by where you're playing right now. Your Brig's with you, so this is relatively okay. I don't mind what you're doing right now. We'll see how it goes from there. Okay, TP's okay. Unscouted. Okay. Nice. Going good. Push trans. Really good TP there mid fights. Okay. Good to Blossom here maybe. High gun is smart. Nice. Go for the aggressive targets. Cleanse Discord. You don't even need to. Get down mines. Sure. Yeah, so yeah, your Winston's able to zone the Zen, and then the rest of your team can again turn and burn the ball here. So nothing crazy. Really good mid-fight TP there. It's a really good spot onto the Zen there. I'd probably change the fight there entirely. And again, another great TP onto the high ground time with your Winston type. So timing there would seem to be great. But again, I need there to be more visual communication between you and your Winston, because again, it doesn't look like it looks like it's happening by coincidence rather than it being clear coordination here, essentially. But yeah. Okay. Alright. I do like that fight as well. Your Brig was walking with you. Again, similar to what we saw a little bit on Gardens. But okay, we'll do a quick summary here. We'll say we'll use this wool. We'll say the first thing is probably it's probably, I'll say, like a mindset shift to zoning. Shift. Shift to zoning, and turning plus burning. So, to give some examples of what I mean there. The first, I guess, example or case would be, again, if, we'll say this, if I go backline and they leave, I burn and burn frontline. And for clarity, when I say frontline, I'm referring to the dive crew. I'm referring to the bull. I'm referring to
Mhm.
Genji. It's normally 2 characters. Sometimes it can be 3. So if you're playing against Doom Tracer Genji, that's 3 characters in frontline. But that's what I'm generally referring to when I say frontline.
Yeah.
And then if not, if they stay, I'll just say stay. Stay means I can threaten the trade. Which again, for
Mhm.
clarity, that basically means if that Sojin stays where she is, even though I'm shooting at her, I can walk forward or play. I can jiggle peek and I can threaten the trade. I can threaten the kill onto her. And maybe she fucks up a power side too, and then again that you can threaten the trade there still. Or maybe she power sides into a ship position, and then again you can threaten the trade there too. So those like decisions are really important, right? Do I continue going on the Sojin, or do I turn around and look at the ball and the Genji who might be doing stuff to my backline? That's really
Mhm.
important. I guess the second thing to that as well, that's really the most important thing here. Second thing, which is going to be much simpler, is timings, right? Very obvious. But we saw
Yeah.
multiple times, we fight, too early, which means you get forced out. I missed timings with your Winston, and again, the solution here is very easy. Look, at uh, team in general
Mhm.
before going in. So like when you want to go in, or when you want to take an angle, when you want to start controlling space, when you want to start thinking about zoning, shift your camera, swivel your mouse to look at your team. Can my backline walk if I TP in and I zone? Can my Winston help me while I'm zoning? And if you can, great. And we saw multiple cases of that. I think again the last fight on Gardens was really a key case study of that. But yeah. And I guess the third thing as well. Again, times are generally pretty easy. Third thing is like how you zone, or I guess I can refer to like aggressive, yeah, like aggressive aggro but safe positions, which usually involve cover, decent distance, backline LOS. So in this comp, Brig would be the key one. Honor as well, obviously. Um, and I have escape path, escape path, and then short sightlines, obviously. Short, flashing closed, sightlines, and then also one thing I haven't really mentioned that much as well is also where do I move to during Wraith? Because there were a few times where you either Wraith back to your Winston or you force someone out and then you stack back on your Winston. And then the Genji sort of, like you saw that first fight where you kind of forced out the Genji, he was low, he dashed out. And then instead of actually controlling that angle, you stacked on your Winston, you let the Genji come through, the Genji started staging. It was really not great for your team there. So I guess those are, the 3 key points. Again, the big one is like zoning and making sure that you're continuing to do that and control the angle that the Genji takes and make sure that your team can help you and making sure you're doing this in an aggressive and safe manner by these factors here. And then add in a little bit of timing as well, and you should be good to go.
Mhm.
Any questions?
No, that makes sense. I just needed I play the game for fun, but I like winning. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And it's I can review it, but it's good to like review it with somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
That's kind of why I decided I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll get some coaching. Why not?
Yeah.
Um, no, that makes sense. Like I said, there's certain things that there's a lot of the games I played last night. There was a lot of it wasn't a great Q sesh, but it happens. But like there's a lot of that visual aggro that I just didn't register and I didn't wraith, and I should honestly like. I mean, it's better to just wraith and not risk, especially if I'm at like a really medium distance, not like a very like if I can't threaten to trade, I should just be out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um,
and try again, and then if I have an actual coordinated team with me, then we can actually make those scenarios happen.
right,
So
right.
I'm definitely with you.
Yeah.
Here's a random question: do you actually see anybody with Reaper picking dire triggers?
No, no. I mean,
Okay.
when perks first came out, I think people were playing with it or experimenting with it, especially when for like whenever they were playing into like aerial heroes. I think that's when it's best, to be honest. It's when it's into aerial characters. But barring that, it's really not. It's not great.
No,
It's just
it's
too clunky. Um,
yeah.
it
I
could be
wish it
great
was
though. It's a
good.
great idea. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wish it was good. But that
Um,
was just a random question.
Yeah, and one thing to add on to that thing as well, if you can't threaten the trade, that's also a good thing. Because that means that they're playing too far away. And if they're playing too far away, they're probably doing fuck all. Which is good. It means that again, they're out of the fight basically. They're as good as dead. So yeah. Okay. I've also recorded session 2, so you can rewatch it back at your
Yes.
spare pace.